Hello viewers. In this video, I'm going to explain about motor vehicle dimension, which is coming under the topic called as car bodies in the vehicle body engineering subject for 5th semester automobile engineering students. So if you see the table of content, what are the topics that I'm going to explain in this particular video are first of all, the three-dimensional reference systems, where we need to define what are the reference systems to measure the all the dimensions of the vehicle body. Then the second one is the daylight opening, what you call as DLO. The daylight opening means nothing but the amount of the area which is available in the vehicle body, which is covered with the glass, so that it can able to let in the sunlight into the driver's cabin or passenger cabin. Then we are going to I'm going to explain about the interior dimensions of the vehicle body, and afterwards of course the exterior dimensions of the vehicle body, and at the last we are going to discuss about the different car types and their lengths with respect to the outside as well as the inside. At last there will be an MCQ, the questionnaire is which is based on the whatever the topics which we are going to discuss right now. So let's start with one video. So in this particular video will says that the necessity of the dimensions inside the cabin, how much it's important, and why should we give more importance to this particular kind of a topic. So in this particular video we can able to observe that the proper kind of a position which is necessary for a driver, and to give this kind of protection or provision, we need to design the interior space for the required dimensions. We are going to discuss one by one right now. So the first topic is a three-dimensional reference system. So whenever we are measuring any dimensions, so we need the reference points. So here we are measuring in the 3D, three dimensions, x plane, y plane and z plane. So if you diagram you can able to observe that there are three planes: vertical transfer plane, vertical longitudinal plane, as well as horizontal plane. So here these are the three coordinates or reference system we are going to consider while measuring the dimensions of the vehicle body, either from the interior as well as the from the exterior. If you come across with the next topic, it's called as daylight opening. So in the vehicle you might have observed that there are certain areas which is covered with the glass. This is going to help us to let in the sunlight or a light into the cabin. So this is what called as daylight opening. So this daylight opening area which available in the vehicle, it will be more helpful in the case of visibility. It is going to provide very good visibility to the passengers as well as the drivers. Of course, if the visibility area or a daylight opening is more, then definitely it's going to have a drawback in the vehicle body. That means it's going to reduce the strength of the vehicle body. So you need to make sure that while providing a daylight opening area, we should make sure should not compromise with the strength of the vehicle body. And in addition to that, you can able to observe the different position and different dimensions of the car interior, which is shown in this diagram. And when you consider the exterior of the vehicle body, their overall length is there, and the cabin dimensions are there, the height of the vehicle right from the ground surface. So these are the major consideration while we are measuring the car dimensions from the exterior. If you come up with the interior dimensions, so where it shows the position of the driver as well as the passenger, or the second row passenger, their sitting style, sitting position, sitting angle, the distance between the steering wheel and the driver seat, and the angle which is projected right from the flat road surface to the steering column. So all these things are much more important criteria while measuring the distance inside the cabin, passenger cabin. Of course, what you call as headroom, so the distance between the head of the driver or a passenger which is available in the inside the compartment and to the roof. So there should be some room should be given for the very good accessibility, get into the car or getting out of the car. So all the interior dimensions are defined with an adjustment from the front seat in its rearmost normal driving position. So of course you might have observed that in the vehicle or in the car we can able to adjust the position of the seat. So while measuring the interior dimensions, so we should make sure that first we should adjust the front row seat or driver seat to the rearmost position, so that we can able to get a maximum room for operating our kind of a controlling all those things. So all other adjustable features shall be positioned in their normal driving position specified by the manufacturer. There will be a manual which is given from the manufacturer. So based on that manufacturer manual, so the remaining features can be adjusted and the dimensions can be taken. So then if you come across with the next topic called as exterior dimensions, as the name itself indicates, here it is purely with respect to the dimensions we are measuring on the outside surface of the vehicle body. So here you can observe that from end to end, the front end to the rear end, we are measuring the distance as well as the height of the vehicle right from the ground surface to the topmost point of the vehicle. If you see from the top view, there will be you can observe the track width. What you call as track width is nothing but the distance between the two front wheels. It's nothing but track width, and the distance between the two center of the wheel, that from front axle to the rear axle, is called as wheelbase. So these are the two plane which we are going to take the dimensions whenever you're considering the exterior part of the vehicle body. All the exterior dimension terminate at the outside surface of sheet metal, bumper or integral modeling. So we need to take the position, the dimension from the outside of the vehicle body as specified, like from bumper to bumper. So while measuring the exterior dimension, you should make sure that the front wheels of the vehicle should be positioned straight ahead. Otherwise, it may lead to the mistake or a wrong kind of a calculation, wrong kind of a measurement will be done. So that's why while measuring the exterior dimension, we should make sure that the front wheels of a vehicle are positioned straight ahead. All exterior dimensions define the proportional shape of the vehicle as opposed to its designed pieces. So based on the exterior dimension, so let's see a video, you will get a better idea.
Vehicle size can be described by a set of standardized exterior dimensions that permit direct comparisons to be made between one vehicle and another. To help clarify what they mean, here are descriptions of some of the key terms used to define exterior dimensions. Overall length is simply the total length of the vehicle measured from its furthest point in front to the furthest point in back. Overall width is the maximum width of the vehicle measured at its widest point, wherever that may be, usually excluding exterior mirrors and flexible mud flaps unless specifically stated. Overall height is the distance from flat level ground to the highest point on the vehicle, excluding components such as flexible antennae, with the vehicle in its as-designed static position with proper tire pressures and without people or cargo on board. Wheelbase is the distance between the center point of the front and rear wheels. Front tread or track width is the distance between the center lines of the two front tires measured at the ground, with the wheels pointed straight ahead. Rear tread or track width is the distance between the center lines of the two rear tires measured at the ground. Approach angle is the maximum angle of a ramp or slope a vehicle can climb without contacting the ground. It is defined as the angle between the ground and a plane from the front tires to the lowest point of interference with the vehicle in front of those tires. Departure angle is the maximum angle of a ramp or slope a vehicle can descend without contacting the ground. It is defined as the angle between the ground and a plane from the rear tires to the lowest point of interference with the vehicle behind those tires. Ground clearance is the distance from flat level ground to the lowest point on the bottom of a vehicle other than the tires. Stated differently, it represents the tallest obstacle over which a vehicle could drive without interference. Fording depth is the maximum depth of water in which a vehicle can operate without risk of damage to any of its components. Turning radius is the radius of the tightest circle a vehicle can turn with maximum steering input, measured from the center of the circle to the outer edge of the vehicle's tires on the outside of the turn. Stated differently, it represents the radius of the tightest circle a vehicle could negotiate if it was surrounded by a curb. The features and functions described in this video might not be applicable to your Toyota model.
So if you look into the different car types and their lengths. So the first one is the urban cars. So as the name itself indicates, urban is nothing but the city. So these kind of cars are more suitable for the city riding. So whenever we say inside the city, so there will be a traffic. So that's why this particular vehicle should be as compact as possible. And since it is not going at very high speed, because there will be signals in between, so no need to give a very high speed kind of, or what you call as more acceleration. And since it is operated in the city life, there will be more often usage, so we need to look into the fuel economy of this particular vehicle. So urban cars are the types of the vehicle driven around the municipality, as I already said. So these are the most kind of vehicle you can able to observe in the city. This is much more uh, suitable for city driving kind of conditions. They fall within a length for 2.7 meters to up to 4 meters. So it's based on the range. So we can able to have the vehicle right from 2.7 meters up to the 4 meters. And also there is a limit with height range. The height range is a limit between 1.5 meters and the 1.7 meters. Next type of car is a small size car. This also comes under the compact small size car. There won't be any much room inside the car body or a vehicle body. Maximum of 4 persons can able to travel in this particular vehicle. The small size car is also falls under within the small compact average dimensions. This is an example called as a Renault Zoe Spectrum. This is one of the example for small size car. These are big, longer than urban vehicles. You mean to say that this is a little bit lengthy car compared to the urban vehicle, where it falls under a range of length up to 3.8 to 4.1 meter. So comparatively, it's bigger than the urban cars. So those people who want more than the bigger compared to the urban cars, they can go for these kind of small size cars. So in turn, you will get the more kind of an interior space compared to the urban cars. So these small size cars are more spacious than the urban cars. That's the same thing what I said, but slightly lesser than the compact car category. There is one more category called as compact car, which you are going to I'm going to explain in the upcoming slides. It's much more less compact than that kind of a category car. The next type of car is a compact car. So whenever we say compact car, so it is much more bigger than the small size car, but it's not much amount of space is available inside the cabin. So these compact cars are usually fall in the range of 4.1 to 4.3 meter long, and if you take the height, it comes under the range of 1.4 to 1.5 meter height. And if you take the width, what you call as track width, the distance between the front wheels is nothing but track width. That width range is from 1.7 to 1.8 meters. It's not much a very big vehicle. It also can be used in the city kind of a driving life. So these compact cars are generally spacious on the inside while maintaining the right balance on the outside. Of course, so for the city kind of a life, this is one of the perfect car, so we can say. So because meanwhile we can able to get more space than the compact cars, and also it's not much more bigger when you looking from the exterior kind of point of view. So these compact cars are arrive at all the dimensions without including the side view mirrors. In the previous slides, I have explained in the with the diagram, along with the diagram and the video. So while measuring the outside dimensions, the exterior mirrors are not going to consider. Next type of car is called as Porsche cars. So as the name itself indicates, these cars are meant for a luxurious, so not for providing the fuel economy or all those things. These are comes under very costly car. So this category car seems to be like the luxury when you see them on the road. So of course, whenever we say luxury, the cost obviously it will be very high. So these cars are with retractable roof. So what you call as convertible kind of the car body. So we can able to have it in this kind of category. The safety systems are well equipped, and the body designs will be outstanding. So in the meantime, this particular car can go up to very fast speed. So it's a compact combination of all those things. It is safer, luxurious, and top speed vehicles. The interior of these kind of cars are not much space is available with respect to interiors. So because since this comes under Porsche, only a few people or two people are can able to accommodate in this particular car. So whenever you see the dimensions of this particular Porsche cars, it comes under a range of the length up to from 4.6 to 5.6 meter. If we take the track width of this car, it will be falling in the range of 1.9 to 2 meter, and if we take the height, it will fall in the range of 1.3 to 1.5 meter. The next type of a car is a sports car. So as you observe the name, the sporty look will be given, and as well as the sporty kind of a performance has been incorporated in this particular vehicle. So these sports car fall into the kind of following spectrum range. If you take the length of this car, it comes under length between 4 to 5 meters, and if you take the height of this particular car, it will fall in the range of 1.2 to 1.3 meters, and if you take the width of this particular car, fall in the range of 1.7 to 1.8 meters. So these cars will have a moderate bonnet with a capacity of up to 1.5 meter or more. There will be a separate bonnet will be given to carry the luggage, what you call as the boot space. So these sports car are middle class car with a premium function. We can able to observe that with a less cost, more amount of premium functions will be given in this particular range, along with the powerful engine capacity. So that's why we'll say sport car. To give a sporty kind of an acceleration, of course the powerful engine should be provided. The next type of car is multi-purpose vehicle, or MUV, MPV in short form. So as the name itself indicates, these particular vehicles are used for different purpose. Like the cars generally meant for designed to carry the people, but along with the people, this vehicle can also take the goods as well. So that's why these kind of cars are incorporated with more than 2 rows of seats, and there will be an ample of space for the boot at the last row. To increase the boot space, the last row of seat can be folded, and which will gives you the maximum boot space as well. So this particular car is well suited for touring, so that more number of people, up to 6 to 7 people, can able to carry, along with the more space for the goods. This multi-purpose vehicle includes the 5 or more seaters, of course, so that more than 5 people can able to accommodate in this particular vehicle. If you just observe the dimensions, The overall length of this vehicle will fall under a range of 4 to 5.1 meter, and if you take the height, it will comes under 1.5 to 1.8 meter range. And if you just observe the width of this particular car, it will fall under 1.7 to 1.9 meter. This particular vehicle, as I said earlier, is very good for trips, because you will get you can able to accommodate more number of passengers, up to 5 to 6 members, and then there will be an ample of boot space so that we can able to carry the luggage as well. The next category of the type of vehicle is SUV, sports utility vehicles. It's nothing but sporty look will be given. So the small SUV are convenience car for all cadres of the person. Whenever you see the sporty vehicle, that will be more posh, it's much more costlier. But so that's why there is a separate segment called as small SUVs, so that it comes in a small cadre person. So with a lesser amount, we can able to get the sporty look and the sporty performance in this particular category of the vehicle. So more a definitive body construction than a multi-purpose vehicle with an elevated driving arrangement. When you consider multi-purpose vehicle, the body construction of the small SUV will be more sportier, and since it is sporty vehicle, the speed of this particular vehicle will be maximum. So that's why the elevated driving arrangement will be given, so that for a better visibility to the drivers. If you just observe the dimensions of this small SUV, the overall length of this SUV will fall under a range of 4.3 to 4.7 meters, and a width of 1.8 to 1.9 meters, and a height of 1.5 to 1.7 meters. So this particular SUV is also will have the boot space or a luggage space up to 4.5 meter. The next type of vehicle is compact crossovers. So these cars with an average length that enable the movement within the city. So we can able to observe that the wheelbase, the distance between the wheel centers from the front to the rear wheel, it's very less comparatively, and also you can able to observe the sporty look kind of a thing, more powerful kind of an engine, and more feature will be available in this particular segment of the cars. Possess an on-road artistic design with slightly elevated height. So in the exterior look, you can able to observe that the design is very good with an elevated height will be given, so that will gives you a better kind of a visibility. If you just observe or go through the dimensions of this particular compact crossover, it will fall under the range of the overall length will be 3.7 to 4.3 meter. The height will be coming within the range of 1.5 to 1.7 meters. If you just look the width or track width of this particular vehicle comes under a range of 1.7 to 2 meters. There will be a small boot space will be given up to 4.3 meters. So the next category of the vehicle is a big SUV or big sport utility vehicle. So this also comes under the sporty kind of vehicle, but the size of this vehicle will be more when you compare to the small SUVs. The overall length of this particular SUV, if you observe, it will fall under a range of 2 meter width, and then height range will be 1.5 to 1.7 meters. So the number of person can able to accommodate is up to 4 to 5 meter of overall length will be there. Can able to have more than 4 to 5 people, because it will contain more than 2 rows of the seats. These particular vehicle are taller when you compare to the small SUV. There will be an enhanced ability to uh, drive through the terrain. So whenever we say the ride height is more, the ground clearance is more, that particular vehicle is suitable, well suited for the off-road or rough terrain. There will be an ample amount of space for the boot, so you can able to carry the luggages or so whatever the goods kind of a thing along with the passengers. The last category of this car is a pickup truck. So if you just observe the overall vehicle design, there is a space for the passenger as well, like two rows of seats has been given to carry the passenger, and at the rear end there will be more amount of space is given for carry the goods. This is a combination of load carrier as well as the passenger carrier. So this category is where you will find the one of the company called as Ford Ranger with a large bonnet size. You can able to imagine that 4.7 meters of bonnet size will be given, and along with the bonnet, so there will be an enhanced interior comfort. You can able to have feel the very good comfortable inside the cabin like a Porsche car. At the same time, you will have more amount of boot space. So have a large space inside the car and promise better trip comfort than SUV. If you just compare the SUV with this pickup truck for a tripping, so this kind of pickup trucks will be better. So because you will get more comfort inside the cabin, and you can able to carry more amount of goods, luggages along with this kind of a vehicle. If you come across with the measurement of this vehicle, the average truck measurement, the length will be 5.2 to 5.7 meter, and if you just observe the height, it comes under the range of 1.7 to 1.9 meters, and the width of the up to the 2 meters and above. So that's all in this particular video. So now we'll have questions with an MCQs. It's based on whatever the topics which are discussed in this particular video. So if you just see the first question, the question is the distance between the front axle wheel centers to the rear axle wheel center is. You need to read it carefully. Here we are asking the distance between the front wheel center to the rear wheel center. The four options are the wheelbase, wheel track, wheel distance, and none of the above. So when you just observe the particular answer, the correct answer is option A, wheelbase. So in the previous slides, I have explained that the distance between the front wheel center to the rear wheel center, if you try to measure it, that distance is called as a wheelbase. So then the second question, all interior dimensions are defined with. There are four options: an adjustable front seat in its rearmost normal driving position, an adjustable front seat in its frontmost normal driving position, adjustable rear seat its rearmost normal driving position, all the above. So here the question is, so whenever you are measuring the interior dimensions of the vehicle, so what should be the position of the seat? So the correct answer is option A. While measuring the interior dimension, the front seat should be positioned in such a way that at the rearmost of its position, so that the driver will get more amount of space. So the next question is, so which car is often used for trips as they have a large boot space? So here the options are multi-purpose vehicles, sport vehicle, Porsche cars, compact cars. So here you need to identify the type of a car which is suitable for a trip. So the correct answer is option A, multi-purpose vehicle. So because whenever we say the trips, we are going to carry more number of people along with the goods. There will be a more amount of goods. So the whatever the car vehicle we are selecting, that should have a more amount of space for passengers as well as the goods. So these both categories available in multi-purpose vehicle. So that's why the answer is multi-purpose vehicle, option A. The next question is, visibility is primarily determined by weather condition, vehicle's design, both this option A and B, and none of the above. So here the question you need to understand how you are going to determine the visibility, primary conditions. So the answer is option C, where it says both A and B. The A is nothing but weather condition and B is nothing but vehicle design. If you not design the vehicle properly, then definitely it's going to affect the driver's visibility. And even if the weather condition is not good, you might have observed that during the rainy season, it's very difficult for us to see through the raindrops. So this is the correct answer, weather condition as well as vehicle design. So the correct answer is option C, both A and B. So the next question is, by reducing the brightness of the instrument panel of a vehicle, it will improve the options are battery life, aesthetics, visibility, and all the above. So here the question says, if you reduce the instrument panel brightness, what's going to improve? So in the options, the correct answer is option C, the visibility. Because if you just observe the instrument panel just like a TV and the laptop or the mobile phone, so like that, it's going to emit the rays. So whenever you are just observing with all these kind of screens at higher brightness, it's going to affect our visibility. So that's why as soon as you are reducing the brightness of the instrument panel, definitely it's going to improve the visibility of the driver. So that's all from this particular video. Don't stop learning, keep on learning. Thanks for watching.